Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor, and for today's video I am going to be going through my TBR for the Feelgoodathon Readathon. It's hosted by Just Reads Books and a whole bunch of other wonderful booktubers. I will leave information about this readathon down below. The readathon goes from June 1st to June 14th, and there are 10 reading prompts as well as 10 self-care prompts as well, because I'm sure that's something that we could all use a little bit extra of at the moment. I'm really looking forward to this one just because I feel like it's just going to be a really lighthearted, fun readathon. I did try and pick some lighter things than I normally would, just to really embrace the spirit of the readathon and feel really good, do some self-care, entertain myself with some lighter reads, because I definitely read mostly adult fantasy and horror, and those can get a little dark. I love them, don't get me wrong, but they can get a little dark. So just going to be going over my prompts, and there are 10 prompts for the books, but you can double up, which I have done because I used to be really bad about doubling up. I really wanted to, even if you could double up on challenges, I wanted to read a separate book for every challenge of every readathon that I ever did. And sometimes it's nice, sometimes it can just get a little more stressful. So especially since this one is focusing on self-care and feeling good, I didn't want to stress myself out too much. So the first prompt is a book that you have high hopes for, and for that one I am reading Middle Game by Shannon McGuire. This is one of the books. I have 20 books that I want to read in 2020, and this is on that list. This has been everywhere around BookTube, so I'm not going to give like a deep synopsis of it, but I believe it's like a sci-fi sort of fantasy. I have not read really any of Shannon McGuire's other works. I have read Into the Drowning Deep by her under her pen name. That was really wonderful. I also have read the first book of the Wayward Children's series, and I did like it. I just haven't picked up the rest of the series just because they're a little too short for my reading preferences in terms of things that I normally enjoy. But I am excited about Middle Game. It sounds like a really cool premise, and I will just go through and list the other prompts that it is. So I am really looking forward to that one. And it's also working for challenge number 4, which is a book containing your favorite trope. And for that one, I really love a really great sibling relationship or sibling bonds. So Middle Game follows a pair of twins, Roger and Dodger, and I believe that they have some sort of other earthly or superpower bond, something like that. So and then it also works for number 6, and that is read a host's favorite book. And Rachel, she's one of the hosts that was on her list of favorite books, and they do have a Twitter account with all of the hosts' favorite books, so you can pick from for that prompt. So that's the first book that I am going to be reading for the readathon. Now the second prompt and the second book that I'm going to be reading is read a short book, and for that one I am going with The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. I'm very excited to pick this one up because I have not read a lot of Neil Gaiman, and I don't really know why, because everything I've read by him I have loved, so I don't know what has taken me so long to dive into his other works. So I'm picking up The Graveyard Book. I found this in like a free book drop-off in my neighborhood, so I was really excited about that. It has just really cool illustrations throughout, so I mean it is still 300 pages, but I feel like with the illustrations it kind of makes it a little bit shorter, and I do tend to read very lengthy books, so I feel like this one will feel like a shorter read for me. And this is about a young boy who I believe is raised by ghosts in a graveyard. I could be wrong, but I'm excited to see when I finally read it. The next prompt that this does work for is read a book younger you would have loved, and I picked this for this prompt because actually Coraline was my first Neil Gaiman book, and I loved it, and I did read it when I was younger, so I think I would like this one as well. The next prompt is finish or continue a series, and for that one I am going with The Legend of Luke by Brian Jakes. This is part of the Redwall series, and I have been very slowly rereading this series this year. They are really wonderful, chunky, middle grade books about woodland creatures. I would kind of compare it to Lord of the Rings in terms of the content. They're always questing, going on adventures. I love this series. I loved it as a kid. If you are looking for some good, wholesome fantasy, definitely recommend these. The audiobooks are wonderful. Unfortunately, I can't find the audiobook for this specific book anywhere, which is a bummer, but most of them do have beautiful full cast audiobooks that are just wonderful. They have singing, they have music. Brian Jakes, who writes the books, actually narrates them, so looking forward to reading this one because I feel like I can't do a readathon about feel-good reads without reading a book from one of my favorite childhood series. This one also counts for challenge number 8, and that is reread an old favorite, and I loved this series. I wouldn't say when ranking the whole entire series, this one in particular was a favorite of mine, but it is my favorite series, and it is I actually can't remember a lot of the plot of this one, and there are like 15 books in this series, so I'm excited to rediscover this one a little bit. And then I have one more book that I am reading during this readathon, and that works for challenge number 5, which is a cover by / book that you picked up because of the cover, and that's Sawkill Girls by Claire Legrand. So I meant to read Wilder Girls for this readathon, and I ended up getting Sawkill Girls as a script. Like, I downloaded it for one of my downloads, just because I always get those two books mixed up. I don't know, they have similar names. I know they don't have similar premises, but they do kind of have similar covers as well, and I think they came out around the same time, if I'm not mistaken. So I wanted to read Wilder Girls, and that's still one that I want to get to sooner rather than later, but I already wrote it down in my bullet journal as Sawkill Girls. So I'm going with that one because I don't want to white out anything in my reading journal. So I'm going with Sawkill Girls. I think this cover is really wonderful, and I do think that is part of the reason why I wanted to pick up Sawkill Girls, because reading the synopses, I think I will like Wilder Girls a little bit better, but I don't think I would have found this book had it not come out at the same time or reminded me of Wilder Girls. So yeah, that's why the cover, it attracts me, I guess. And then that also works for challenge number 10, which is read a book by a new to you author. I haven't read anything by Claire Legrand before, so that works for that prompt. The only prompt that I don't have a set book for is challenge number 7, and that's buddy read a book. If you are reading any of these books for this readathon, let me know and we can buddy read them. That would be awesome. If not, I'll probably just skip that one and call it a day at 9 out of 10 prompts done. That's gonna be the end of this video. I'm excited that I do have it pretty 50-50. I have 2 audiobooks and 2 physical books, which is really nice. I highly recommend that for any sort of readathon, because especially if you're someone who is a mood reader like me, just having a variety of formats is really nice to help you stick to a TBR. So highly recommend that. That's kind of one of my strategies for sticking with my TBR, because I am a really big mood reader. I am very much looking forward to this readathon. I probably will be vlogging. We will see. I might just do like a week 1, week 2 vlog, depending on what kind of footage I get and how these next couple of weeks go. I am currently applying for jobs, so hopefully I will have a lot less free time than I do right now, but if I'm still in my current situation, then I will have plenty of time to vlog for you guys. So let me know down below if you are participating in this readathon. I am super excited for it. I think it's come at a wonderful time. And subscribe for more content from me. I will catch y'all in my next video. Bye!